renunciation and vairagya. We were describing about the basis of vairagya is the internal realization of the, what is the internal realization? Worthlessness of the external objects. That's vairagya. Vairagya towards that object, any object for that matter, anything object. Objects and desires then automatically fall away from you. But one more thing, renunciation does not mean running away from the responsibilities or from the society, duties and the responsibilities of as a human for the purpose for which you are born. It's not running away. It's very clearly mentions it. It means, I have told it a number of times, but still, carrying on with one's duties in a dispassionate and unattached manner is called the vairagya. Having understood that vairagya, in 16th sloka, Maharishi says, Tat param purusha khyader gunavaitrashnyam Shiva Shiva. Tat param purusha. That means the highest state of non-attachment stems from the awareness of Purusha. It renounces even the three qualities of nature. Tat param Purusha khyader guna vaidrishnyam. Till now we described about the characteristics and identity of vairagya. This is what is called something like, for people who are in the material world, to identify that, we said that dispassionate, unattached, non-attached process of thinking, functioning, thinking as well as functioning is called the vairagya. He goes now, he has given you the idea of the vairagya. For whom? For the people who are in the material world, who are attached with the materialistic objective way of living. But what is true vairagya also comes in. Tat param purusha khyader gunair taish. True vairagya is the identification with the Purusha. Everything else is Purusha is the self, the consciousness, the highest consciousness, also referred as Brahman in the Dhyanam. It's called Purusha. So Brahman is same, Purusha is same. It's all so many words people have used only to, it's not to confuse, it is only to know that everything is same. Many people I have seen when I listen to so many YouTube, this, that, many of them they mislead people saying that no, that these so many words are there and so many complications. They confuse things actually. That's why I always tell you all, everything is that Brahman only, one only, Brahman only. It's only that to there are certain languages used by various granths only to make us understand the based. Suppose I am walking through a particular path. So the end of the path has to be described in that particular manner. If it is in a different, suppose you are walking on the road, we call it as walking. If you are walking to uphill, we say hiking. When we are coming down from the hill, we say climbing down the hill. All are walking only. Just for an example. All are walking only, nothing other than that. Activity is only walking. But the moment I say hiking, you know that you are climbing on the hill. Climbing down means you know what it is. So, that's all the purpose. Same way, this the Shabdartham has been given only to make you in a process. Suppose a process being explained, so at that point of time, that particular word is used so that you identify it. But everything is Brahman. So Purusha is also Brahman. Prakriti is also a part of Brahman only, and that's why we say it has come from the Purusha. That's why Purushartha, Prakriti, Purusha, Prakriti. So we have identified them for the characteristics, for the purpose of explanation. So as far as this is concerned, true Vairagya is that to be attached with the Brahman only. Identification with the Purusha or identification with the Brahman. So it is, who is Brahman? It is unmanifest and without qualities. We have always told that. We have said unmanifested qualities, unmanifest it is. It's not manifested by anything. It's an unmanifest. So to be attached with the unmanifest is called Vairagya. And so very simplified it is. So anything that is attached with the manifest is not Vairagya, it is Raga. So true Vairagya comes only when that is called Layam. When we get attached to unmanifest means what? That which is nothingness, means you become the nothing. That's called the Layam. And without qualities, that's why he said, so when it is a Layam into unmanifest, actually it is beyond the qualities also. Why are we attached? Why are we passionate? Why are we possessive? Why do we have desire? All because of the three gunas in you. The gunas that is in you. So that's why Tat Param Purusha Kyode. When you get attached to the unmanifest, even it becomes gunadhitam. When the gunas are there, you are supposed to get it. Even a person who is a satoguni, if he's a saint, now he identifies himself as a saint, sannyasi. That's also an attachment. Even though it is satoguna, but it's an attachment. I have heard many people when they do the pravachan, I have heard many of them do that. I don't want to name names, but many I have heard. They will not say, I have told this earlier also, I have told this number of times. They won't say, I am saying, but instead they will say, Swamiji is saying, Swami is saying, something like that he will say. He doesn't want to say I. There's nothing wrong in telling I. Only thing, as I told you some time back, I can always mention I, because so long I have got a body and mind, the intellect has to be there. The ahankara has to come. Then only the function of the mind and body will become practical. Even Bhagavan said, I is not because of his sharira and mana. It is because of the antakarana that is provided. That's called let us call it as purified ego. That's the ego is necessary. The ego is necessary. We have explained about ego. It's only that misrepresentation of non-identification of ego or misrepresentation of ego is called ahankara. Who is this I? Is misrepresented by sharira and mana and my activities and my qualities. Is called ahankara. But the true I is what? The true I, the ahankara, ego, is that intellect. This is a basic of Vedanta which we should know, but there's no more explanations. This we have explained it quite earlier itself, but still I repeat because the time is in between. This so unmanifest. When I made clarified about unmanifest, what do you mean by unmanifest? Even the I is manifest. When it is born in the world, it is manifest. That's all. It is manifest. So to be with the unmanifest in the sense without qualities. Whenever there is birth, or whenever there is a creation, whenever there is an I there, even if it is purified ego, even then the qualities are there. So Satoguni also, this kind of attachment or the misrepresentation of the Aham is there, that's also Ahakar. He is meaning him when he says Swamiji. Can you deny that? But when I say that I am not meaning I as my Sharira or my Mana is good enough, finished, over. What is the use of? When you make it conspicuous that Swamiji is telling, that means you are conscious that you are talking about you. This is what I understood. That means I purposely do not want to call me because I know this is me means this, Swamiji means this person only, he understands. Why is my question? Of course, I'm just telling my observation on that. So what happens? I can say this I have explained about 5-6 classes before. You can call me Muralidharan, but I should not feel I am Muralidharan. So long I don't feel, I have no problem. That's all. Others will, for identity, they will call. Others will say call Swamiji. Others will call as Rishi. Others will call as a Muni or Tapasvi, Jnani. No, all that. Let them call for their identification. I have no objection to it. Let them call. I should not feel. The moment I say I am Guru, I am so and so, I am Bhagwan, I am Ishvara, I am Swami, I am Rishi, I am X, Y, Z. That is attachment. So let others talk. You understand the difference? You see? Many people try to represent themselves. I have heard so many people talking. Swamiji has told. He is meaning himself, you see. They asked Swami this question. Whom he means somebody asked him the question. He is conscious that it has been asked to him. So long he is conscious. It's okay. But if I say I, nothing wrong. But the I should be represented by something else. Instead of Swami, I am saying I, is nothing wrong. It's a language, that's all. To make others understand from where it comes. But the person who is speaking, the Karta, that's why it is known as Karta. See, that is the beauty of Sanskrit. The Karta and the Shrota. From where that has been created is Karta. The one who is receiving is Shrota. There is no identity. Anything is Shrota. The whole world is Shrota. Karta is that from where it comes. From where it comes means not from my mind, not from my sound. Karta means the Dhyanam, that wherever it is there, that is being channelized through me and being projected through my Shabda and through my Mana. But who is that speaking? Karta is speaking. From where it has been generated. From where it has been generated? That's why the word, you see, this is the beauty of the language. Karta and Bhokta. Karta or Vakta and Shrota. Karta and Bhokta, Vakta and Shrota. Vakta, the one, Vani, from where the Vani comes is Vakta. Now tell me to explain it more like to children, it's very nice. You also must be thinking. Suppose we walk on the street or we are in a function or something like that. When you listen to music, blasting from the this one. What is that? Microphone. Loudspeaker. Suppose it is too loud. Where do you look at? It is too loud. Where do you look? To the speaker, no? He is not producing anything. Where is it loud? Loud has been done from that small instrument, you see. But where do we look? You understand what I am trying to tell you? Who is the actual Vakta? But we always identify the Vakta as that loudspeaker. The Vakta is somebody else. You understand? Same way. The Vakta is not my sound or my... it is from where it has been generated. Is Vakta. That's the meaning of Vakta. You see. Shrota, the one who listens. It's not the one individual who listens. It's the one. It's not through this one. The one who perceives it is called the Shrota. It can be anything that is there in the Shrota. It is not individualized. This is the same way Karta and Bhokta. So this is the meaning of it. So why did I say this? Is that I, when I said about the I, from where it is generated, it doesn't mean that. That means one has to very clearly understand. As I am looking at the loudspeaker, but the intelligent person knows that, the one who understands it, he knows that it is from there, or he's even though everybody knows. But everyone, the one who knows also, consciously is looking at it and say that it is too loud. It is never loud. You make it loud, it becomes loud, it makes it slow. Somebody else is controlling. This has nothing. There are no instruments to make it slow. Is it not? It's exactly the same. The Dhyanam, the Vakta and Bhokta, same way, the unmanifest and the unmanifest. This is how we have created the manifest and unmanifest. If that is unmanifest, this is manifest. From where it comes, Karta and Bhokta. The Aham, so the I. It is the unmanifest without qualities. Naturally, the one which is unmanifest, it has no qualities. It has no qualities. It's beyond the qualities. Because whenever there is a quality, as I told you, when I say I, if I feel that it is this so and so, a Maharishi speaking, if he is conscious that he is a Rishi, Maharishi speaking, then it is it's manifest. It is not unmanifest. The unmanifest is that without any attachment towards any of the gunas. The creation of gunas or the creation of attachments and desire comes only because the gunas are existing in that ego, ahankara in you. These gunas are given to you for the purpose of executing your karmas and identifying that karma should be done without any, with dispassion and unattachment, to make you understand these gunas have been created, and these gunas are necessary for various other purposes which we have in various occasions we have explained about the trigunas in detail. So that has to be linked with. Who is a Brahman? It is that all-pervading supreme being that exists in the soul of every person. It is to be distinguished from Prakriti, which is a casual matter. The Lord manifested appearing as the various aspects of the world. Prakriti has gunas, qualities. Prakriti has gunas, qualities, and these are tamas, inertia or lethargy, rajas is passion and activity, sattvic is purity. So these are these sato, rajo and tamo gunas we said. It is prevalent in you, the whole knowledge is prevalent in you. We were watching one small episode of Vikramaditya somewhere. So in that there is an episode comes that where when the human creation was done by Brahma, the rules and regulations were set how the people should behave. This is what the Prajapatis used to follow. Daksha is one of the Prajapati. The first Prajapati was Brahma himself, then the Manu. So when Manu came, Brahma knew how to do it. So when Manu came, they created a Smriti called Manusmriti. Even now, today the document is there, Manusmriti. Manusmriti explains how the people should behave, function, execute their duties, and each and every small things are mentioned there, based on the Manusmriti. So this Manusmriti was created long ago. So in the story, they just to tell us, it's not necessary. Manusmriti is what Smriti. I told you what is Smriti. Smriti is that those impressions on the vritti is called Smriti from the number of generations, is what I said. You remember now? Recently only we spoke about Smriti. That is Smriti. It's today, of course, it's not a written book, it has become a book afterwards only. It's Smriti only, it is the occupied. This Smriti, so there was a question what there were a lot of problems, inequalities, or when the creation was done, there was only all Jivatmas are same, there is no difference in that. In a time when the Dwapara came, in the middle of Dwapara, after the first quarter of Dwapara, the Dvitiya Pada of the Dwapara, the story says, I am just telling you that story. Story says, male domination has become a problem, and then there were lot of atrocities to women. So Vikramaditya was fighting with the Rishi, saying that how this can happen, why not, it should be generalized. So, but this is according to Manusmriti, and the Panditas said this is according to Manusmriti, that this is, they have misinterpreted Manusmriti, equalization and all that, and they have told that this is according to Manusmriti. So he was asking the Rishi how he was meditating, then the Bhagavan himself, the Manu himself came. Manu is the one who is supposed to have written Manusmriti. So Manu himself has presented in personified in a human form. Then he asked, how is it that, hey Manu, that you have created a Manusmriti and today it has become just take the opposite to that. He said, look, no. And where are you, and who can do it? It's only you who can do the correction, and that nobody else can do it because you are the author of it. Where are you? He says, I am in all the human beings. I am divided myself and in every mind. In every mind. So he said, now this has to be modified. How it can be done? Otherwise people will misunderstand. Now how to make them understand that this is, I have met Manu and Manu spoke to me. Nobody will believe me. How to do that? He said, you don't have to worry about it. From time to time, when I am there inside them, from time to time, depending upon the necessities of the characteristics of the human being, it has to be done, will always be informed to them automatically. This is what is called, we call it as that inner voice we should listen to. This is the Manu or the Mana. Manu is Manu. That knowledge or the consciousness which is called Manusmriti, that consciousness is prevalent in everyone. That's called the inner voice. But what happened? We always deny that. We always overstep that inner voice, what we call. Do this means, no, why should I do it now? We'll do it later. Now we always decide that because, as I always told you, to remember, sometime long back I always told, that will tell only once. The consciousness will inform you only once. It will not repeat. If you do it, it's okay. If you don't do it, forget about it. That's up to you. This is called the consciousness. This conscious, what do you mean by the consciousness? Without consciousness, nobody can survive. Nobody can be. We are all living. Our organs are functioning. Our sharira is not decaying in one day. Or our mind is active with intelligence. They are all because of the consciousness prevalent in you. It's not that your efficiency that you are functioning. It is not that your individual efficiency or sharirik efficiency. It's not like that. So, like that, so Manu makes the modifications. The modifications will be made, the basic rules are same, only identities are different. There it has been told, even everywhere it is said in the Puranas, everywhere you will see. So when we say Purusha, what is a Purusha? Many people will say, the so-called Panditas will immediately say, Purusha is Shiva and Prakriti is Shakti. This is what they will say. So, man and woman they will say. In fact, in Purusha and Prakriti there is no gender actually. It's only the characteristics. This they will not, they will slowly forget. So this, that changing the form and shape of that has become man and woman. So wherever in many of the Vedantas or many of the Upanishads and Vedas, and also in Puranas you will find many of them they represent as, suppose there is a Shakti, so there is a godliness or things like that. They refer as he. He. The he there is not the gender actually. It's a representation of that person because the language has got only tat or iti, things like that. So this has been misunderstood and people have created this. This is what Manu is telling. So same way, what I am trying to tell you is that the gunas come from the Prakriti when through the Prakriti only the creation has come. When Sharira, Mana and other activities are attached to the Prakriti, that means the characteristics of the Purusha for the Jivatma to function as for Prakriti, it is not that unnecessarily Bhagavan has, Purusha has projected and Prakriti has been created. No. Prakriti is nature. That's why we call it as our nature. Our Swabhava, you see. This Swabhava or the nature has been projected for the purpose of survival of the Jivatmas. Not that Bhagavan wanted to project Prakriti, created Prakriti, nothing like that. Nobody created anything, nothing has happened, everything has come. So same way, from the Purusha, this Dhyanam when it is projected, naturally in order to access and utilize the qualities of the Prakriti and attain the Purusha, the gunas are required. See, this is a height. So for a normal person who doesn't know how to awaken the Kundalini Yoga and then fly himself up, he needs a ladder to climb up. So these gunas are required. Same way, these gunas are necessary for the normal people. For others, this is not necessary. For Maharishi, who has been constantly doing tapasya on the unmanifest Brahman, for him, he is not Prakriti at all. He himself is a Purusha. There is no Prakriti in him. Whenever he needs the Prakriti, he uses the Prakriti. Then he releases it. See, this is the Maharishi or great Jnanis do that. That can be done. In them, the influence of the Prakriti, in the sense, the influence of the gunas or influence of the any other achievement and possessions and things like that does not remain. When it is not remaining there, they themselves become the unmanifest. They are not the manifest. When there is a characteristics, when there is an identity, when there is a separation from the unmanifest, and when there is a purpose, when there is a duty, when there is an integration, disintegration, achievement and non-achievement, passion, dispassion, when all these things are there, they are all manifested, they are all created. From the manifested, we have to go into the unmanifest. The manifest means that which has been manifested as a purpose to fulfill. Once that purpose is fulfilled, it goes into unmanifest. It vanishes. It's not. Every object is manifested. Every object is, that's why non-attachment to the object we call it. Because every object is manifested and everything that is manifested has got a time limit. That means the kala is there. There's limitation in it. It's not permanent. It's not constant. It is not permanent. They are all temporary. So when the object itself is temporary, that what experience you derive from the object is also temporary. Is why we call it as pleasures or temporary pleasures, we call it. Because they themselves are temporary, how can they give you a permanent pleasure? A human being is temporary, how can he give you a permanent pleasure? He can give you only a temporary pleasure. An object which is there, which you enjoy, is only for a moment, for a while, for a day. They are also temporary, and they also can give temporary pleasure, because after that, that itself is restricted. So you are unnecessarily getting, that's why it is known as attachment. Attachment is that which is not your swabhava, and getting yourself attached to that, or getting yourself attracted to that, or possessing that is called attachment. Attachment in the English meaning itself is that something is attached. It's not real, original. It is attached. An object which is attached. A leg which is attached to the table, it is attachment. If it is carved from one, we won't call it as attached. It's carved. It's carved out of it. It's one whole unit. When the unit is attachment, that's an attachment. So anything and everything that is manifested, anything and everything that is objective and object, is all manifested. They are all temporary. They are all have got limitations. When they have limitations, we cannot attain unlimited. Here the question is that the vairagya means to be attached to unlimited is called vairagya. Ragam can come only to those which is limited, is vairagya. Those which are temporary and which are objective, only we will have raga. Raga is a characteristics of the mana. Raga is the characteristics of the mind and the desire, because the desire is the characteristics of mind. And the raga comes from the desire, and the desire comes from the gunas. The Satoguni would like to have attachment to the statue of Krishna, temple. He is attached to the puja. He is attached to the rituals. That's also attached, you see. But the other one, Rajoguna, he has got the attachment to various other activities and pleasures. Tamoguni has got attachment to different things. What happened? This desires, based on the desires, is inculcated with the gunas in that, is how the desire takes shape. Gives you satisfaction, is through the gunas only it can be applied. So that is why here he has qualified it, Tat Param Purusha Khadir Guna Vaitrishniyam, he said. Guna Vaitrishniyam. Gunatitam, that means you go beyond the gunas. In order to go to beyond gunas, you will have a total dispassion to the gunas or the manifest. All that is manifest. So to know that what is manifest, you should understand. Except the Atman, everything is manifest. In extreme non-attachment, there is no identification with the limiting adjuncts. The same thing what I spoke now, the limitations, which define the individual. That's how we all became individuals. So how small from the totality of the universe, which I have explained to you earlier. From the totality of universe, the Atma is one, the Paramatma is one, Purusha is one. All the particles of that. Now how will these small particles have started identifying themselves as individuals, you see. So just like the dust flying in the, I always said that the dust flying in this one, each one thinks this individual is identified themselves as separate. But when you look at it, what do you call? Do you call this small dust, big dust, green dust, yellow dust, and dust? Everything is a dust. Everything flies off and everything goes and settles down at one point of time. This is what the great men see, or the human beings and other jivatmas also. They how to identify, but they themselves have identified themselves separate, and any activity that is done by them, They call it as identification. They call it as the I, and the limitations have been created. Even these three qualities are renounced when the source of all knowledge is understood to be the self automatically. When we identify the true self, the qualities, the trigunas will automatically get dissolved. One who claims to be a saint is attached to his quality and purity and goodness. If he regards himself as sinner, he is identifying with the quality of the spiritual lethargy that causes bad action. On the spiritual path, tamas is gradually replaced by rajas, rajas replaced by the sattva or pure qualities. Then the purity itself is ultimately transcended. At last the sattva is also transcended to when one rests in the self. He is asking one resting in the self. For Purusha is limitless, thus beyond even the three qualities of Prakriti. In Prakriti, these qualities are there. It is meant to be there, but once identify the Purusha, tapasya is done in order to attain that Purusha of oneness. So we will go beyond that. So this Prakriti Swabhava or Prakriti is, even though we call it as a projection from the Purusha, they are only upadhis or instruments for the others to attain the Purusha. That's why the Prakriti is there. Otherwise, the purpose of Prakriti is not there. What is that Prakriti? Prakriti is the nature of the Purusha. The nature of the Purusha. In Purusha, everything is there. In Prakriti, certain things are there with the presence of Purusha for the purpose of utility. Like in a big tank is full of drinking water. How to reach them to the house, first of all, then how to do filtration, this, that, and that. The source is called the Purusha. To make that, with that, you otherwise you're like animals, everybody has to go and drink the water like that. Now what happens? To facilitate, it has been pumped into smaller tanks and smaller tanks to smaller vessels, smaller to smaller, smaller to smaller, so that utility-wise it has been reduced to that extent so that you can use it properly. The content of this and content of that is all same. But what happened? Its nature is different. That is voluminous. This has got limitation. This through the limited I try to practice and I realize the unlimited is that the truth. This is how it is. That's what is called the gunas. So for this, to use this we require gunas. To use this I need a hand, I need a mouth, I need a digestive system. So through that, this is called, let me call it as gunas. So we require gunas to implement the Prakriti, utilizing the Prakriti through the gunas. I should identify I should reach the gunatita status without drinking water and identifying me to be in the water. Okay. Something like that, some examples for that purpose. 17th shloka Maharishi says, Vitarka vichara ananda smita anugamat samprajnatah. Samprajnata samadhi. What is samprajnata? Vitarka vichara ananda smrita anugamat is called samprajnata. Samprajnata means that vitarka, with consciousness, samadhi. Samprajnata samadhi, asamprajnata samadhi, we spoke some time back. Samprajnata samadhi is that samadhi with consciousness. Is accompanied by reasoning, discrimination, bliss, and awareness and individuality. Logical, rational and scientific in the samprajnatah samadhi. There has to be, you try to find out logics, try to find out rationalization, and you try to find scientific reason for it. For everything, a scientific explanation cannot be given. Scientific explanation can be given only to, you should remember that scientific explanation can be given to only those which are convertible, transformable, and those which can be split and identified as this, like an atom can be split like that. That's how the scientific, what do you mean by scientific? Scientific means that which is Vijnanam. Vijnanam. Vijnana is that by using the Jnanam, identifying the object, dividing them and identifying the properties of the object is called Vijnanam, is called scientific. So the scientific explanations can be given, or scientific rationalization can be given only to those which can be divided, only to those which can be transformed, only that which can be changing the shape and form, size. You see, whereas those which are beyond that, that means that is all possible only those things which are there in the lower consciousness. That which is there in the higher consciousness, this scientific Brahman scientific explanation cannot be, is what he is mentioning. So what happens? Samprajnatah samadhi is that with consciousness is accompanied by reasoning, discrimination, bliss. Bliss also is samprajnatah samadhi. And an awareness of individuality. There is an awareness of individuality. Samadhi is a supreme conscious state of consciousness. Is two types. The first is samprajnatah samadhi, means with seed, that which can be reproduced. That's what I said, which can be divided, which can be identified, analyzed. Scientific. That's called seed. Scientific, With seed means that which can be reproduced from there. With seed. Is samprajnatah samadhi, with seed. Where there is full concentration and experience of bliss. There will be bliss, no doubt. But it is samprajnatah. But duality still exists. Here, there means the awareness of the object of meditation as separate from the individual who is meditating. The meditator and the meditated are two different. This is how it is. This duality. So long the duality remains, this is samprajnatah samadhi, and it will remain. Even in the case of bliss, I undergo the status of bliss is also there. That's also samprajnatah samadhi. You will find most of the things are samprajnatah samadhi. Asamprajnatah, only very limited people can do it. Samprajnatah samadhi is that separate. Now, so here there means awareness of the object of meditation as separate from the individual who is meditating. The second type of samadhi is that asamprajnatah samadhi is said to be seedless. Cannot be reproduced anything from there. It cannot be divided. Seedless means there which cannot be split, which cannot be identified, which cannot be separated, which cannot be reproduced from that which cannot be produced. Anything cannot be produced. When you divide it, it is produced from that. Even if you scientific, and that's called scientific, where there is no science can function. It's the highest state of the consciousness. It is the highest state of consciousness in which there is no duality and the meditator is completely merged with Purusha. This layam takes place. This I have explained you in terms of layam. When the layam has taken place, where is the question of identifying something else? I have told you the examples of the salt merging with the water. Cannot identify. When you evaporate, then only you can see that these are the two. And things like that. So once the layam is taking place, you cannot separate it from that. It's not possible. I told you about there was a guru and told the disciple to bring water from the stream. Then he asked him to make him understand that how the layam takes place. Asked him to mix something from that. Then he after 2 days he said, now whatever you have put inside, you take it out. You give me the water which you have brought day before yesterday. That's what Guru said. He said, how can I do it? Absolutely right. This is how they taught those days. Practical teachings have been done through. So that is why, seedless, when you said seedless, I am talking. That is why all the prasadam, that is bhog, that is provided to Bhagwan, is all cooked. The rice cooked, maybe you put sugar, maybe make it as a payas or whatever it is. The rice is cooked and things, everything is cooked. That is called the samprajnatah, or from where you cannot produce something else. That only can be attained as a prasadam. Bhagwan's prasadam, that is when you apply it is bhog, when it comes out it is prasadam. Prasadam that is given by the Lord should be seedless. That is why the representation of this cooked food provided. After cooking the rice, you cannot produce anything from there. No. Yes. For the Vinayak Puja, you remember, I don't know, in southern India it is very popular, but here also I think it is there. They make this from the paddy, that seed. After harvesting, they dry it up and keep some for the seed, as seed, so that next time they can sow it. From that seed, they will take out and that along with the husk, it is there. With that they fry. From that puffed rice will come. That's called, I don't know what you call it. It's like, it's not moody. Koi. Koi, okay. Koi is that, no? That they fry that seed, the paddy or whatever it is, paddy, it's paddy. Fry it and from there it comes, you see. So from the seed, that's a seedless has been created, that is kept as prasadam. Malaria, we call it as malaria. That is kept as prasadam for Vinayak. That's very famous. That prasadam. So all the prasadams are seedless. See? That which cannot be reproduced anything from there. It has to be taken as it is. It's called samprajnatah sthiti, not samprajnatah. That which can be created from something, that is not prasadam. That's not good. Many people do many things. We cut fruits and give to fruits. Of course, that also is a samprajnatah only. From there it cannot come out, something cannot come out. It's not a seed only it can come. Fruits can be cut, rice can be cooked, or anything that is cooked, or this one which is fried, all that. Even for Shraddha and other things are also, we use only those things, that which is fried, til and then rice. These are they make the balls and then offer. Asamprajnatah, that from where anything cannot be produced, that which can be. We can give otherwise good food, otherwise. Other things which seed which can produce, it's not there. So anything you will find in pujas and other things are there. Asamprajnatah sthiti only has been mentioned, is why they have specified that these are the prasadams, these are the bhogs, not just like that, and not an astronomical calculation. It is based on, the principle is that asamprajnatah sthiti. You get an asamprajnatah sthiti and you have to become, that's why it's a prasadam. The principle being that you have to become like this, seedless. From you, nothing should come out. From you, nothing should come out. When they say nothing should come out from you, you should not have anything. You should not have anything, including you. Like Asamprajnata Samadhi. Representation of prasadam is that how many people know this? Many people can ask why prasadam is only this. Why not something else? Instead of cooking the rice and keep one kilo of rice, 1 kilo of paddy, prasadam. Cannot be done. From where it can be produced, that which can be produced. No seeds, no seed. The principle is seedless. What is seedless? Seed. Maybe that's why people started making seedless fruits. Quite possible that asamprajnata fruit. We can't call it that way. That's not that. Status is that, okay. From there, nothing can be produced. Is called samprajnata samadhi. That from where something can be produced can be repeated in generations of the janana maranam. Only for those janana and marana takes place. For that which is already asamprajnata, janana and marana is not there. Nothing can be produced, nothing can be lost. Whatever has to be lost in that has been lost. Whatever can be produced can be produced. Now, nothing is there to lose because it's already cooked. Whatever qualities are there, it has been evaporated. Water has been evaporated, everything has been evaporated, and things are there. Nothing can be produced out of it. Asamprajnata. So one should become like that. One should become the prasadam of the Lord. Let's understand it like that. So that nothing can be produced from me. Is that asamprajnata samadhi? That's very difficult. We will be explaining it. He said that it is the highest state of consciousness in which there is no duality. In that cooked one or puffed, puffed rice, there is no duality. It's by itself, that's all. Nothing can be done with that. There's no duality in that. Same way, in the asamprajnata samadhi, the highest form of consciousness, there is no duality at all. One layam with the other. So and it's completely merged with the Brahman. That is a difficult process. That's all. Through samprajnata samadhi, come all the powers of controlling the elements, hence nature. Who would like to have powers and siddhis? I spoke on this number of times. Siddhis you get if you want. When you concentrate on that and do tapasya, you will get any siddhi you want. Knowledge alone is power. When one has knowledge of something, he gains power of it. So he focuses on that, he gets it. Astrologers focus on the astronomical positions of the stars and effect of the stars on the people or jivatmas who are born in that particular vibration or particular position will have an effect of that particular star's positioning, will have its impact on that. This, when he focuses on that and meditates on that, he gains the knowledge of that astrology. That's right. Each one, when any object which is born in a particular circumstance of a particular vibrational status when the planets are there. So there are differences in stars, there is difference, in planets there is different. Nakshatra, there is difference. So Nakshatra's job of Nakshatra is to bring knowledge to the world so that it doesn't create a chayam. Should not create a chayam is why 27 Nakshatras are created. 27 Nakshatras are there. These 27 are the ones. So they told 27 were the daughters of the Dakshaputris. They were married to moon, Chandra. So Chandra Mandalam is consisting of the Chandra and 27 stars. It is actually Nakshatras. Nakshatras are different. Tara Ganas are different. In Sanskritam it is divided. Nakshatra is different, Tara is different. Tara is that normal stars, which are planets which are for different purposes. But the purpose of the creation of the knowledge and not creating Chayam to the universe is these 27 planets. So the impact of the Jivatmas will have attached to only this 27 nakshatras. And this 27 nakshatras, they said they represented them as 27 girls of Putris of Daksha got married to Chandra. Chandra Vyuha, Chandra Mandalam, they have separated it, even though originally it was not there. But after the creation of these 27 nakshatras, Chandra Mandala has been separated. So during the process of even Chaya of the Chandra, these 27 are the ones which are keeping the moon again, bringing it according to the principle, the lights they are bringing. So same way, the knowledge is brought by this 27 nakshatras. So the impact of the position of these 27 nakshatras, this changes the position. Whichever it is changing, it has got an effect on the all over the universe. Impact of the nakshatra is there. So certain vibrational frequencies are created as well. The astrology has been created. I do not know much of astrology. I'm just talking about the principles of it. That's all. This is how the astrology has been in. So an astrologer who would like to be a great astrologer, like in the palace of the he had got the Maharishi. One of the rishis were only astrologers. He knew what is going to happen, things like that. So he used to tell that this astrology or the impact of the astral positioning of the planets. That's why astrology. Astral positioning of the planets, which has got an impact on the Jivatma, has been focused on and studied, so he got the knowledge of it. Doesn't mean he has got layam with the Brahman. He has got only that siddhi, that particular knowledge of it. So same way, if you have focused on that and then do that, you get siddhi. Even I told about all these things in detail earlier. Even a person who gets into the spirituality, attainment of the Brahman, during the process of his meditation, he gains a lot of siddhis. Sometimes what happens is that person gets attached or attracted to particular siddhi and gets stuck there. No, he doesn't go beyond that. He remains there. That also is there. Because any power based on the knowledge, every power comes based on the knowledge only, jnanam only. So when you restrict that jnanam only to utilize that particular power, it gets stuck. Whereas the jnanam in totality is meant for the purpose of absolute merging, absolute layam to the Brahman. So if you utilize that, ultimate consciousness will come. Otherwise, it is a limited consciousness where duality is there. It is known as samprajnatah Samadhi only. Even if the highest person who has got great magical powers of creating many things is also have achieved only samprajnatah Samadhi, not a samprajnatah Samadhi. Okay. This is how this has to be identified. So this is what he says. Now he says, who meditates, he gains the power over it. For example, one who meditates on, I have already told you that about the stars and things like that. Those beings called, now what happens are one must concentrate on it. To control any element of its modifications, one must concentrate on it, and with meditation comes the power. Those being called angels and devatas are entities who through their good actions and meditations have attained a place or plane where they can enjoy and use their powers for some time. Many think this is the ultimate goal, but it is not. There is still duality. A sense of individuality remains there. No matter how pure the ego is, as long as it exists, it must be transcended for the knower knowledge known to become one. Samprajnatah Samadhi is not an end. Is not an end in itself, but is a state attained along the path. This path of Samprajnatah Samadhi is the one most of the people are doing. Exclusively there are people who can be counted on fingertips are the ones who are doing the Samprajnatah Samadhi. The one who has done the Samprajnatah Samadhi and has attained the Brahman are the ones who have been projected as reincarnations of the Lord. We call it as reincarnation of the Lord. Reincarnation that highest consciousness is the one who should be there as the great Maharishis, great Tapasvis and great Mahagurus who are explaining and teaching about the Brahman and Brahma Sakshatkara. They are the ones who are reached Samprajnatah Samadhi and have been projected from the Brahman itself. That's why they say that he himself is the Ishvara, he himself is the Bhagavan, he himself is the Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Everything is why these qualifications have been given, because it is beyond the gunas and it is beyond the Samprajnatah Samadhi, and it is beyond the attachment to the gunas or the prakriti. It has already had the layam, but after having the layam, the highest consciousness can project itself as highest consciousness in the form of different things. That's how the Dashavatara has been projected and said that these are all avataras. In avataras, even though the akara has been given for the people to understand and then get acquainted, accommodated for the purpose of closeness towards that, so that they don't get scared about and leave learning the knowledge. So they created an akara. So all those Dashavataras had an akara, even though they are all the highest consciousness with the Samprajnatah Samadhi, which is the projection from the Brahman itself, projection from the highest consciousness. That's why they called the true Guru is supposed to be the Samprajnatah, from the Samprajnatah Samadhi, the projection of the Brahman itself, because he is not an individual, he is a consciousness. It's a Dhyanam, embodiment of Dhyanam we call it. Embodiment of consciousness we call it. Because it's a projection from the Brahman itself. It doesn't have the attachment to the Prakriti, even though it appears for the normal human being through his vision. It appears, but it is not like that because he doesn't realize it. See, the eyes, they are, earlier also I explained to you, this Dhyanam, what you have, can function in a range only. Below the power and above the power, this cannot see anything. When it is dark, we cannot see. When it is bright light, you cannot see. Not seeing is the characteristic in both ends, because you cannot do that. Only in a limited area you can see. This has been provided only, the lens has been provided only for the purpose of seeing these objects around you and experience from that. That's why this Dhyanam has got only this one. But that is why we are not in a position to identify that through the seeing. That's why they said you should have a vision inside. So you can see, you can really visualize, that's called vision. Visualize the Guru, then you will identify he is not a form and shape, it is absolute consciousness. It's why the glorifying of the Gurus of these slokas have been created based on the principle that the one who is wanting to attain the spirituality has to have the vision of the Guru as the Brahman. That's why they have created that, because the one who can explain about the Brahman, or who can take you to the Brahman, or who can guide you to the Brahman, or who can lead you to the Brahman, that means lead you towards the Layam, is called the true Guru. The others are siddhas. I am teaching you some vidya is a siddha. I will teach you to fly. It's a siddhi. You can fly, but it's a siddhi. I can teach you to do like this. No, you can change the form and shape. That's a siddhi. Many tantrics can do that. No, the changing of shape and form. This is a siddhi. They are not called as the gurus, the true gurus. They are teachers. They are teaching you a vidya. He is a adhyapak. Making you adhyayana of a particular subject is adhyapaka. Adhyapaka is different. Guru is different. Guru is not. You cannot generalize adhyapaka and guru. You cannot generalize teacher and the guru. You cannot generalize it, because they are specified. They are categories specialized based on the principle of the asamprajnatah. He is always in the he need not sit and meditate. Who? Brahman sits and meditates. It will be not something like that. No, it doesn't have any sense in that subject. Why we meditate? To attain the Brahman. Why Brahman should meditate? No, there is no maintenance dose in that. Achha. There are 4 kinds of samprajnatah samadhi. I will explain only in the next class. But I will tell you what are they are very high. Don't think that the samprajnatah samadhi is the one has to practice actually. The normal people have to practice only samprajnatah samadhi and attain the maximum of it. Then only one can shift over to asamprajnatah samadhi. So, otherwise it's not possible. The duality remains. So, what are those? He has prescribed or divided. It's only, again for the purpose of studies. There is no asamprajnatah samadhi, samprajnatah samadhi. That's all. Now, the division has been made only to educate us in the various. Okay, if you go to the east, this is the thing. If you go to the west, this is the thing. If you go to south, this one. This is how they are teaching. But otherwise, everything is same. It's all the same. But for the purpose of teachings, you should always have this. The principle is one, consciousness is one, Brahman is one. All divisions and the permutations, combinations have been made only for the purpose of identification of confirming and conforming to that principle of the identity of Brahman to be realized. That's why these are all have been taken place. This has to be there. You should never think there are 4 kinds of meditation. No. There are 4 ways of meditation. There are not 4 kinds. Savitarka meditation. Savitarka is meditation on elements in time and space. It's called Savitarka. Vitarka. Tarka means questioning. Stars are there or not? Okay, it is there. How they are functioning like this. No, this is Savitarka Samadhi. Okay, identifying. Whether one can become like this, one can heal, one can become like that, one can transform. Question, Tarka Samadhi. So, Savitarka Samadhi, meditation on the elements are within time and space. They are all within the time and space. Kala, Samaya. Then comes Nirvitarka. When Savitarka is there, Nirvitarka. Nirvitarka Samadhi. That's also meditations on elements outside the time and space. One is in the time and space, another is outside time and space. What is time and space? There will be big misunderstanding there. The time and space, Savitarka Samadhi is the time and space within your time and space, that which is you understand in the time and space. That which is beyond is that we can imagine, what you can have studied, learnt and understood and confirmed through the contemplation, through studies of Upanishads and Vedas and Shastras, and you have gained certain knowledge and you understand that there is beyond the lower consciousness, there is higher consciousness. Let me travel to the higher consciousness. It's called the beyond your time and space. Because otherwise, there is no specified time, space. That's all. So, relative terms. Then third one is Sananda meditation, the mind and accompanied by the bliss. Sanandam. Ananda, I told you what is Ananda. Meditation through Sanandam. In Savitarka Samadhi, Savikalpa Samadhi, Sa Ananda Samadhi. With the bliss, you are meditating. That means I am getting the bliss. Oh, I have the bliss of the Lord. You see, the duality remains, but the bliss is there. Sananda Samadhi. Fourth one is Sasmita Samadhi. Identification of the unqualified ego. Sasmita Samadhi. These are the four Samadhis one has to know. These are the four divisions of meditation. See, you should remember one thing. They are all stage wise. Once you go into Savitarka Samadhi, the next step is Nirvitarka Samadhi. Then comes the Sananda Samadhi, then some Smita Samadhi. It is going step by step, even though we have divided into four. That means it is the status of the progress of your mind towards that. So when you reach the ultimate, what happens? Are there four divisions? There are no divisions. Beyond that, then you go to Asamskrita Samadhi, or you call it as Asamskrita Samadhi or Samprajnatah Samadhi. Samprajnatah Samadhi. In Samprajnatah, what is Samskrita? Asamskrita. Asamprajna, Asamprajna, Samprajna, Asamprajna. Samprajnatah Samadhi, when you reach there, all these are gone, finished, nothing is there. So everything is one only, it is only the status of divisions to step by step going by. They are all one. Everything is in one. Only thing traveling in that, that's all. So it's for the purpose of education only, these four divisions. Somewhere they will not say these four divisions are there. He has divided it. According to him, he said for a purpose of study, let us divide it in that. When you go to some other grantha, they have divided into a different way. Okay. That also is there. But everything is same. They are not contradicting each other. They are only complementing each other. It's only a purpose of identification. So, when we talk about this elaborate arrangements, I remember when Swamiji was asked by the Americans when he went and spoke in America. So they said that a Christian has got only one grantha, very easy. One can sit and read it in holidays, 15 days. Go sit on a swimming suit on the seashore. That, then take that Bible, page 1 to page 555. They can read it and complete it. Easy. And say Quran is this one. Or some other grantha, XYZ. All they have got only one book to finish. All. Why? Hinduism has got millions. Which one is to be taken? Somebody said Bhagavad Gita, somebody said Bharatam, somebody said Bhagavatam, somebody said this, somebody that, somebody that. Which one is right and why there are so many, and which one is right? What do you advise? Hey, so this Swamiji told them, Onassis doesn't have a dollar bill in his pocket. But plenty of wealth. And one ship sank. It doesn't matter. Forget about it. The next one is there also. The wealthy doesn't bother about 1 rupee or $1 or few dollars. The one who has got so much of land and property, he is not bothered about somebody has built a small corner make bana diya, 5 cents out of so many 1,000 crores of land is there, usme thoda le liya, kya kare. You got about 100 clothes, like some women have got 157 pairs of Padaraksha. Should I call it as Padaraksha or Padashicha? I don't know. Because many of them in Padashicha. Is it Padaraksha? No, I don't think. Padaraksha should be Raksha. No, Padashicha, according to me. So there are 157 pairs of Padashicha is there. One or two pairs gone also not bothered. You see, what is there? कुछ नहीं छोड़ो दूसरा मॉडल आएगा तो देखेगा. So Maharishi said, Swamiji said, when there is plenty of knowledge available, why are you bothered about so much of knowledge? It is like a frog in the well. The frog from the sea came to well and asked the frog, explained about the frog, you all know the story. Frog asked the other frog, how big is your sea? So he said, multiple of this well. He doesn't know multiple, what is how much. So what frog did, he went to one side of the well, he jumped from one side to the other side. Is your sea so big? That, it is something like that. So you won't understand unless you go through this knowledge. The ocean of knowledge, we call it. The knowledge has no end. The ocean of knowledge. That ocean of knowledge is that the Shastras and Vedas and Upanishads of Hinduism. If you want to read one page of that, you take one page and read it. That is called XYZ Granths. That's all. Is what we said. Same way, the explanations that we get, expert explanations, which Grantha can provide in 550 pages. Even what I spoke to you so long, I know how many pages are. More than one of those Granths. Where we have spoken? We spoken only on one part of the subject. Is that knowledge. So, don't try to get carried away by saying that, it's not a booklet for spirituality and spiritualism. That's what happens. Nowadays, people are printing, I saw in the market, people have printed Upanishads in booklet forms. 4 Upanishads in one small booklet. How many pages? 10 pages. So, that's that. It is there. I'm not exaggerating, it is there. So the division, what I am trying to make you understand, it is the Dhyanam is a vast ocean. The more you go deeper, the more it is broader and more revealing. More and more revealing. From the outside of the ocean, you don't know what is the depth of the ocean. You only see the waves and the whatever is happening in the superficial surface. That's what you understand. The moment you go deep, you know the treasures of the sea. In different levels of depth, you will find different kinds of treasures in the sea. In one level, you will find various strange plants and seeds. Another level, you find strange jivas, which is not available outside. Still you go down, you will find different kind of this one. Still you go down at the bottom, you will find those pearls. They are in peace, they are sitting and creating the pearls. Like that, the treasures, the more and more you go deeper and deeper, the more and more treasures you can reveal from the Dhyanam. That is the knowledge. Millions of books are not a repetition of one to the other. They are all absolute knowledge of revelation, so that you reach the status of the true samprajnatah Samadhi. There is nothing more to be known, having concluded with this Dhyanam that has been provided to you in our Shastras. Nothing more to know. After that, you straight away have layam with the Brahman. That's all. Nothing else. It's the principle. Okay? Just when I read so much, he said, why Suddenly my mind itself was telling I should tell, why so much of explanation? So many things we have repeated, so many things in different ways it has been expressed, so many repetitions are there. But still, we find it interesting, is it not? Because they are a different path. A different path. So it's interesting. That's how. So each and every loophole, what we call it as loophole, that means each and every escape, has to be plugged. Escape for what? Escape for the mind to get perverted has to be blocked, so that the perversion is stopped, so reversion takes place and we run with you. That's it. This is called self-realization. You revert from the perversion is called self-realization. Om Shanti.